Hello and welcome. My name is Ajaxpost, and yes, we're back with Transport Fever 3 for the very first in-game trailer, which contains so much exciting stuff. The trailer itself is only a minute long, but we're going to take a little bit longer than that to go through all the amazing stuff that is being teased in this first look at the vehicles. And we're not going to stop here. Well, we have stopped here, but we're going to have to go back to the beginning, because there's even there in those first few seconds so much to talk about what's going on here. So much excitement. But first off, what I'd like to do is read to you just a sentence or so from the press release for this trailer, describing Transport Fever 3 as Urban Games' most ambitious project to date, having a development budget of nearly $25 million US, which sounds quite a lot, and you can see in this trailer and in the first looks we've already seen, presented by Sam, their community manager, previously known as Colonel Failure, actually probably still is known as Colonel Failure. Yeah, they've put a lot of effort into this, in the design of the graphics, the vehicles, the world, the economic tycoon features they're adding in. There's so much new stuff in this new game, which is like what they say in the next sentence of that press release. It's not just another sequel, it's the next major leap for the genre. And both the community and the developers' expectations for the vehicles are higher than ever. Not just for the vehicles, but for the entire game. So, are our expectations going to be met? What can we look forward to in Transport Fever 3 when it is released in 2026? Let's go back to the beginning and let's see if we can stop and highlight and have a quick look and chat about all the funky things we're going to be seeing in this new trailer. Here we go, we're going again. Steam trains, again harking back to the origins of the game. You can tell from the modelling here, they spent a lot of money on remodelling and reworking and making all the models look fabulous. And to be honest, from what we can see so far, although this is only beta, but they're doing a grand job. But what can we see here? Yes, not only an homage to the origins of the game as Train Fever, but again to the sort of main focus of a lot of players of the game is trains. Steam trains have a huge romance to them. And what do we see below that train? Wooden bridges. Look at that, a proper, I mean, you see this in those American Western movies of old America, the birth, the opening up of the American nation. Huge wooden structures transporting cargo and passengers across this vast landscape. Not just America, obviously, but other countries too. But yeah, real wooden bridges. Doesn't that look amazing in this setting? It's not just the bridge. Oh, hang on. We've got to stop there. Tunnels. New tunnels. This trailer travels too fast. New tunnel designs. Not just the entrances, but the interiors are also looking amazing. Not just, look at that, cabling along the side, proper, and across the top. I've just noticed that there's, if you look at the top right there of the screen, there's cabling there for the lights. Tunnels have lights in them. The question that I'm asking here is, are these tunnel entrances and tunnel interiors going to be age appropriate? Are they going to evolve? Are they going to unlock through are we still going to have 3 eras of settlement development, of building designs and so on, and vehicle designs? Are tunnels and other structures like bridges going to evolve in quite the same way? It'd be lovely if we did have a whole new set of tunnel interiors like this, which look really amazing. And from steam trains in dark concrete tunnels, we have modern electric trains with sound barriers. I mean, we've had these, in fact they do look very much like the mod we have in Transport Fever 2, and probably actually going back to Transport Fever 1. There was a wonderful modder who created all these wonderful sound baffles, these sound barriers for us. They now, I'm assuming, they're built into the game, and they're not just showing off what a new mod would look like. So we've got those, and what that looks like, new high-speed track to me, a bit like what I've seen. I'm not familiar with all the thousands of mods obviously for the game, but these do look a bit more like those sort of solid slab high-speed track that you might get from the Asian railways, China, Japan and so on. I could be wrong. Do let me know in the comments below if how wrong I am in that. But also another look at that vegetation. The landscape, the world we're building in just looks so much more beautiful and detailed. Apples on the trees, or whatever fruit that is anyway, plants in the grass. It is awesome. I'm not quite sure what this is showing off. Is that a new model? Again, I'm not actually a vehicle specialist. I couldn't tell you what these vehicles are and whether they're particularly new. They may be new models. You do let me know if this is a particular train that you haven't seen before in the game. Oh, and more landscape work. Now this, pay attention to the soundtrack here. This is impressive. This is a new look train station, which is great. I like that. But also, this is showing off not just the previously seen day-night cycle, but also rain. We have rain. And in fact, the press release for this trailer does say this is a newly added feature. And if you listen carefully, there's just a bit of thunder in there as well. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to track back and insert a little bit from the very first look video we saw, where Sam was describing the new day-night cycle. So the question is going to be, in that little video segment we see here, we've got that little panel, the dialog box there, which not only gives us the game speed, so we can still control the game speed obviously, but also what weather we've got, the level of light, whether it's midday or nighttime, and the level of cloud cover. Has that been enhanced now to include rainfall? Are there other sort of weather conditions as well? Snow? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Now, this takes me back actually to a little element that I think Sam mentioned, possibly in the Gaming Bolt article after the first video came out, about including weather and weather dynamics in the game, is they would only include them if they made sense and didn't sort of interrupt the flow of the game. So the question here is that purely cosmetic? Is it useful for us creating those wonderful cinematics that some of us create for our games, sort of going from night and showing your world living and transporting people and cargo through the night time or the daytime, whatever. So you can create some great cinematics. So is the weather just for that, or is it actually going to have some gameplay implication? So are some vehicles going to be travelling slower? Are there going to be, as we're familiar with in the UK, leaves on the track? Yeah, which would affect the performance of your train services. What's that going to do to the game? It's going to be interesting to see. But to be honest, it looks awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Trams, we've seen this before, and they're travelling, again, as we've seen previously, in the middle of the road. So we've got trams, passenger trams. You see here, oh lovely, and look at that again. I don't know if this is a new model. Is it a new model? Do let me know. And I imagine there's a lot more AI vehicles in here as well, which they've added in. Again, looking wonderful. But this is where we stopped when we came into the video. Cargo trams. We knew they were a thing. We've seen them before in the game. Now they're showing off here a variety of single vehicle cargo, but we have seen, I'm certain, I might have to insert a clip from the previous video where we did see multi-wagon cargo trams. But these models just look wonderful. And again, you can see them through different times of the day and different weather conditions. We've got rain, we've got nighttime, we've got a full moon, we've got a bit sort of an overcast day. They look wonderful. A bit more of the trams in the landscape through the day-night cycle. Beautiful town there. Beautiful town. Can I skip back just a second? Doesn't that look lovely? Again, we may have that looks like a familiar bus to me, but again, all the other vehicles on the road and the street lights, the lighting generally is wonderful. You couldn't build in this. Well, I couldn't, not with my eyesight. But again, for cinematics and just enjoying what you've created, this is gorgeous. Now, this is leading up to something quite substantial they've done. We had a kind of hint of this in the latest updates to Transport Fever 2. They've made significant enhancements to the highway construction system. Did anyone say Spaghetti Junction? Yeah, bit of a spaghetti this is it not? Yes. It still looks a little bit sort of janky in places. Some of the curves aren't perfect, but it is If we can create this manually, well, I imagine some of us could. I'm not sure if I could do this, but if they can make this easy. And again, in a previous article, Sam, the community manager, did say that they are making the game accessible to not just hardcore players who are going to spend hours creating intricate networks and so on, but also more casual players who just want to get a transport network up and going and just do that, set that up and see how the logistics and so on work. So how easy are these going to be? More trams here and buses and a lively city. Oh, one thing can I skip back again a second? I noticed this in that train station view we had earlier, the modern train station in the rain. Are these buildings new? These residential towers, they look a bit new to me. So they've obviously done some redesign. They would have done, obviously, redesign of the buildings in the game, but they look new as well. I'm just enjoying the realism, the beauty of the models they've created here. But this is an interesting little moment. Is this an underground station? Is this a subway? Do we have at last a proper underground building mode? Oh, that would be so good. I'm not holding my hopes too high. I'm not going to be expecting it, but if they can do that, that would be wonderful. Creating underground stations, subway networks, underground networks, tube networks, whatever you want to call them, is great in your big cities. If you're going for that big city, if you're trying to connect two cities, two suburbs or whatever in a big metropolis, you're going to want an underground network of trams and trains and so on, aren't you? Can we do that properly now? These trailers, they are so teasing, aren't they, of what might be possible in what we can do. More lovely. Oh, now this was interesting. Again, I'll just skip back a little bit. That horse movement, has that been improved? I think it has. They're still not real horses, obviously, but I think the movement has been improved significantly. A new steam vehicle, that looks good, doesn't it? I wonder again have they improved the modelling of the drivers and so on, because they used to be a little bit, can I say it, weird. I've said it, there you go, weird. Again, I love this is now some industrial building, isn't it? Some sort of factory or warehouse kind of thing that we've seen before. Now, this is an interesting little view. A beachside scene? Interesting. There's possibly a new bus as well in the background. So there's a couple of things to see here. It's not just the lovely colour palette we've got for the buildings, but beachside. New decor. Can we add this? Can we create a beachside environment? A little sort of getaway for tourism and so on. And that blimp, that little air balloon in the sky. Now, it's not actually moving in this clip, but so it might just be a static thing you can put in place, or it might just be part of one of the scenarios or campaigns or whatever. Presumably we're still going to get campaigns in the new game. I imagine we will. So it might just be a decoration kind of thing going on there. Now this again highlighting, I think, improvements to the visuals for your tunnels, your bridges and so on. I mean, that looks lovely, doesn't it? That looks like a real underpass that you might see. Again, the cabling, the lights, all looking so good. Question is, if you're in a long tunnel with the lights on, do your vehicles put their lights on automatically like they should do in a long and dark tunnel? Good question. Don't know. Notice that a little vehicle approaching us there on the left hand side. That's an electric truck, is it not? It is. Listen to this. Beautiful. Electric trucks. I don't think we had any real... Did we have any real electric... I think there were a couple of electric vehicles in Transport Fever 2. But having something that looks a bit more modern, yeah, that we might see on our actual roads. Now, this is introducing a couple of new things. New passenger boats, obviously, new shipping, but also landmarks. Now, these were mentioned in previous blogs and videos, I think, if I remember correctly. We certainly were aware there were landmarks coming. But the interesting thing that I picked up in the press release for this is that iconic landmarks that can be unlocked. Now, we know from the previous Industries and Cargo first look that we will be given tasks, objectives. We'll be asked to do things by our local settlements and towns and villages, whatever, if we can achieve that, this could be one of those rewards. Like if you can create a cargo network which delivers X amount of produce to the settlement, then I will reward you with the Statue of Liberty, or the Eiffel Tower, or Big Ben, or the Taj Mahal, or some iconic landmark. So they're unlocked, it says in the press release, and it says, and then built by players, expanding the game world while introducing new logistical challenges. So do these come with their own particular challenge or demand, in addition to the way you unlock them? I don't know. Again, questions being asked. Lovely, but in the rain. Maybe it's because I'm British. Actually, I don't like being in the rain, but the rain effects here, yeah, they look so cool. Now this is neat. New passenger vehicles, new passenger ships, a cruise ship, a proper luxury yacht, the type that your billionaire might own. And again, the passengers looking like they're real. They're there. They're enjoying. They're sat around tables, enjoying conversations, meals, whatever. I'm not seeing anyone playing table tennis or swimming in a pool, but they might be. They again looking beautiful. Hovercraft. Yep, we've still got hovercraft, and again, looks good. Lots more planes to come by the look of it. Oh, I don't think I mentioned they're quoting over 275 vehicles in this game, which is the biggest so far. I think in Transport Fever 2 we had over. They always say over for some reason. It probably means just one more, so it might be 276. In Transport Fever 2 we had over 200 vehicles in the base game. So again, a nice increment in that count. And some lovely new aeroplane models, including this beauty. Now I think I can't remember what it's called. I'll annotate it. I did see it in another video. Someone did name it, so I could put it here, but I've gone and forgotten because yeah, my memory's gone. But there you go. Weird, but beautiful in its own strange way. Wonderful stuff. Oh, oil rig. Now, cargo helicopters, we knew they were coming. We've got helicopters now for both passengers and cargo. Now this is obviously a sort of container type helicopter. Again, how many variations of cargo helicopters are we going to have? How many variations of passenger helicopters are we going to have? Good question. I don't know the answer, to be honest. We haven't seen the vehicle list as yet. Looking cool. And there it goes. Oh, there was one other thing which I've made a note of, which I've gone and skipped over, so I'm going to go skip back again for a second. It was here. Yes, one of the things they've mentioned in previous videos and blogs as well, but they make a mention of here for the press release for this trailer, is improved particle effects. So yeah, we're getting much more exhaust fumes from our vehicles, which just, again, look wonderful. A bit over the top perhaps, but there you are. Oh, apart from the electric vehicle, of course. So that'd be good for your pollution, for your emissions. It's looking so cool. Right, so I think we're probably about to wrap up then, aren't we? So there we are. We're being flown at by a beautiful new helicopter with pilot and co-pilot in, naturally. So that's it. That is the first in-game trailer we've seen. Still beta. It's still not the final product yet, so things can be added, like I think the rain effect, which, as I've said several times already in this video, looks beautiful. In fact, the whole game looks beautiful, but we haven't seen the specifications for the PCs needed to run it. That's going to be an interesting thing to know as well. And one final thing before we wrap up here is they have said, as they've said it several times in fact, that all the facilities, all the features they put into this new game are completely and absolutely available for modding. So if you're a modder, then all the particle effects, all the light effects, all the vehicle skids, all of that is going to be available to you as a modder. So we're going to see, as we mentioned I think before, some beautiful mods when in 2026 we get Transport Fever 3. So that's it from me, I think. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this. If you've got anything to say, what are your thoughts on what we've seen so far? Your hopes, your expectations, your questions about what they're going to be doing, what we're going to actually see in the final release of Transport Fever 3 when it comes out in 2026, of course. It's not that far away now. It could be in a few months we could have the game. Oh, now there's an interesting question. Anything you feel like saying about what we've seen in the trailer or what to look forward to, then do please drop it into the comments box below. It's always awesome to hear from you. But from me, Ajaxpost, until the next time, bye-bye for now.